Today we're going to look at circumference of a circle. Now before we go into that, we need to look at some words that are associated with a circle. I'm going to draw a circle. We call the distance all the way around the outside of a shape the perimeter. Now in this case, the circle has a special name, and the distance around the outside of a circle is called its circumference. Now the circumference has two formulas associated with it, which we'll get to in a moment. The first thing we need to know about a circle is it has a centre, in which that centre, a radius is formed. And that radius is the same all the way around the outside of the circle. R is the letter usually associated with the radius of a circle. So R equals the radius. And the other thing you need to know about a circle is that the circle can also be given a diameter, which is twice the radius. So the diameter is actually the distance all the way across from one side of the circle to the other, through the centre. And usually D, the letter D, is given for the diameter. And the diameter, as we've already said, is twice the radius. So now that picture's incorrect, and that should be D. So diameter is 2 lots of the radius. Okay? Now, there are two formulas associated with circumference. The first one is C equals pi, pi being an irrational number, 3.14 approximated, but you should always use the pi button on your calculator. C is pi multiplied by the diameter, or pi d. That's the first formula, and this formula is I prefer to use when I'm teaching circumference, because there's another formula for circumference which people more often confuse with the area of the circle. And obviously we're not doing the area of the circle, but I'll let you know what it is anyway. Because we know that the diameter is twice the radius, we can do that simple substitution, and we can say that the circumference is also equal to 2 pi r. Alright, now I'm probably going to refer to this one even if I'm given the radius, just so that there's no confusion there. So let's do a quick example, and I will need my calculator for this. Let's suppose we've got a circle, and the diameter across the circle is 10 centimetres. And I need to work out its circumference. All I do is I substitute the diameter into this formula. Circumference equals pi multiplied by the diameter, which is 10, which is going to give me 10 times pi. So on my calculator, if I multiply that by pi by 10, I get 31.4. Obviously that number continues, but I'm going to round that at that point. 0.141, yeah, so that's centimetres, because I'm dealing with circumference. Alright, so we get 31.4. Let's do another example where I've got to work out the circumference, only I've been given the radius in this situation. If I've got the radius, well, let's let the radius equal 5 centimetres. Now, to do this, if I'm going to use this formula, I need to know that the diameter is not being given. So the diameter is twice the radius, as we know from this one, so our diameter is actually 10 centimetres. If the diameter is 10 centimetres, I actually have the same problem here. So I know that because the circumference is pi times 10, I'm going to get 31.4 centimetres, rounded to 1 decimal place again. Let's have a look at what happens when we've been given the circumference and how we rearrange this. Let me clear some space. Alright, so this time we've got a circumference. We've been told that the circumference of this circle is 22 centimetres, and I've got my calculator ready. What I need to work out is, well, what is the diameter? So, looking at the formula C equals pi times D, I need to make D the subject. So that means I need to divide by pi. So the diameter is circumference divided by pi. So substitute in the circumference into the formula, and I get 22 divided by pi. Using my calculator, I get correct to 1 decimal place. It's actually 7.0, so it's actually just 7 centimetres for the diameter. If I needed to go and work the radius out, I would half that number. Let's have a look at working out the perimeter of a shape now. And the reason I'm going to say perimeter is because this is now a semicircle, and it's no longer the whole circumference around the whole circle. If I've been given the diameter of this shape, that's the only piece of information I need in order to work out the perimeter of this shape. There are 2 steps to this. I need to work out what this part of the circumference is, and then remember, because I want the whole shape, I must add the 10 as well. So we're now using the word perimeter because it's not a full circle. So the perimeter is going to be 10 plus half the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 10. So I want half pi times the diameter, which is 10. Okay, working that out on the calculator, I go 10 times pi divided by 2 tells me that this part of the circle is 15.71, and then I'm going to add 10 and I get 25.71, correct to 2 decimal places. And don't forget, we're dealing with centimetres here. And that's pretty much all you need to know about the circumference of a circle.